expecting anyone?
No.
Hello, can I talk to you about Life of Brian?
Yes, but can I talk to you about Life of Brian?
Great. What?
No, never mind.
We'd like you to sign our petition to help get Life of Brian banned.
I don't think it should be banned.
We believe it's evil and should be banned.
Would you like to come in and discuss it?
No. Nothing to discuss. It's blasphemous and it should be banned. Can you sign our petition?
Can you explain to me why it should be banned?
Look, you're wasting my time. I have other people to talk to who want to sign my petition.
What do you think is worth talking over? Maybe you can persuade me to sign. Maybe I'll persuade you why people shouldn't sign.
Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I just want to have a conversation with you.
There's no conversation to be had. Do you want to sign my petition?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not convinced the film should be banned.
Why not? Did you write it?
Yes.
Oh, I see. You're one of them.
Oh, it's not Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Deny it if you can. You're one of them.
Why would I deny it? I just told you.
You can't. You can't deny it.
I don't want to deny it.
You see?
I do see, because I just told you.
You're one of them.
God, are we still on this? Yes, I am one of them.
So will you sign my petition or not?
No.
Why not?
Oh.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, some good old-fashioned video game signature gathering. Watch me move.
Oh yeah, I gotta get that petition signed. Good thing I'm a people person. Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
Sure, that rocks.
Hi there, would you please sign my petition?
Okay, I guess that sounds pretty good.
Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
Sure, I'll try it. That's great!
Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
Go screw yourself!
Would you please sign my petition?
Okay, I can't wait.
Sign my petition, damn it.
No way, you freaking pinko.
Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
No, thanks.
Look, just sign the stupid petition. I've got stuff to do. This is so humiliating.
No worries.
Thanks. Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
I don't care.
How convenient. Sign my petition, damn it. This is gonna be sweet. You go, girl.
I'm down. I blame Doom.
Would you please sign my petition?
Get off of me! Give me some room!
Look, just sign the stupid petition. I've got stuff to do.
Bitch, you got yourself a deal.
Sweet. Hi there, would you like to sign my petition?
Don't you know who I am?
Hello, Mr. Coleman. I love facts of life. Would you please sign my petition?
Here you go.
That's the one. What a bunch of fanboys. I can relate, bro.
Are you high? What are you talking about?
It's the full melt.
The Full Melt Show. A marijuana discussion about news, culture, politics, and lifestyle. FullMelt.com. Toll free. 844-420-TALK. 844-420-TALK.
Hey, welcome once again. Welcome once again to the Full Melt Radio Show. I'm your host, Steve Green. Still testing the mics. Good God, it seems terrible. God, what is that? So we're all set to go here today. Been working on the program for a few days now. I'm sorry I've been down and out. A little on the sick side. You know, springtime comes along, and the next thing you know, you sounds like you swallowed a frog. And it feels like an elephant sat on you. It was weird because I got the flu and I didn't even notice because I wasn't sick to my stomach. I just flat on my back for like several days. But that's what happens in the springtime. I'm just glad it's getting warm outside again. At least it is here in Michigan. Wherever it is that you're at, I hope it's warm where you are too. It seems like this year and last year in Michigan, it was warmer in Alaska, actually, average temperature, daily temperature, warmer in Alaska than it was in Michigan. I'm over it. I'm glad Jack Frost is going away. What is not going away is the subject of marijuana and cannabis, and it's been rolling across the country in different fashion and form since probably, 1996 with the California initiative, the first medical marijuana laws in the whole country, with any significance. And so since that time, I think a number of states, in fact, I know a number of states, almost 50% of the country now has a marijuana law on the books in one way or another. Half the states. So the representation's getting tighter. The races, as far as other states coming on board, we've even seen some interest in southern states, in the Bible Belt. There's consideration being made. And when you see places like Kentucky, you undertake hemp development. I mean, that's the first step for them. I got to applaud them. Got to do some applause for. I don't have the applause sound effect. That's important stuff when they move this issue forward in those places. So on today's show, we wanted to take on the issue again of the Ohio initiatives, because there's 4 different competing ballot initiatives. And we already had on Ohioans to End Prohibition. Sri Kavuru was on one of the programs. And on the same show, during a different segment, we had on... who do we have on? I'm sorry. That was Lydia Bolander from Responsible Ohio. And so they talked about their 2, independent initiatives separately. Now, there are still 2 other competing initiatives, and trying to cover this from the broad perspective, and also being willing to give people equal time. It's important that we cover the other initiatives. So there's a couple remaining. And we've got them on today. Tanya Davis will be joining us here in just a minute from Kettering, Ohio. She's from Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis. And then also we're going to have on John Pardee. He's out in Amherst. He's the president of the Ohio Rights Group. Those are the other 2 competing initiatives. We're going to have them on at the same time. And if you want to take some questions to these people, or if you want to have a comment about what's going on today's program, there is a toll-free number, 1-844-420-TALK. Our call screener, Robert, is loud in the other room. You can hear him sometimes behind the microphone here. Don't worry, he's just accosting our callers. He'll accost you if you call. It's fun. So, as we look into this process, I think one of the fascinating things is, and I think people will tell you, if you know anything about this subject in those places, there's a bit of controversy. And to me, it seems, when we did this in Michigan, we had only one ballot initiative. Everybody was kind of pointing to the same place. It was either a question of yes or no to this one thing. And when you go to Ohio and you see 4 competing ballot initiatives, some 7 years after we did ours, that shows you that some things have changed, I guess, in the way that people view bringing this to their state legislature and trying to get some kind of thing done for marijuana. Now, we only did medical marijuana here in Michigan. A lot of places had things outside of medical marijuana. Colorado, obviously, Oregon, Washington, Alaska recently became a recreational state, so-called recreational. I don't like that term. I think it kind of misinterprets it, mislabels what it is. You don't call things recreational alcohol. Why would you call it recreational cannabis? I think that's kind of funny. I think it's a natural way of distinguishing between medical and something that's not medical, I guess. Well, if it's not medical, what must it be? It must be recreational. No, it's retail. It's just retail. It's like any other thing that's on the open marketplace. It's retail. So let's call it what it is, retail cannabis. So Ohio is trying to do, and other states are looking at this too. And I'll talk about Michigan here in a bit too, because this reflects on Michigan. But Ohio's trying to do medical and retail cannabis at the same time with all 4 of these ballot petitions. Now, not all 4 of these ballot petitions are actually collecting signatures at this point, because the first step you got to do in any petition drive anywhere is you got to get the language approved. Just make sure that it's clear and that it's unambiguous and it doesn't trick anybody. It's fair. Every state's got their own, barrier for what kind of ballot petition language requirements they have, but it's generally to protect people so people aren't duped into something. And so you got to get that approved. So you collect some signatures, just some sample signatures. I think in Ohio it's 1,000 signatures, and then you got to bring it to the Attorney General's office. And the AG there is Mike DeWine, and Mike's got to look at it and apply the law and decide if this is something that they could put on the ballot based on the language. And if it checks all the boxes, then he approves it, and then they got to go out and collect, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's 305,000 some odd signatures to get it on the ballot. I don't think there's any time requirement. I think they got to get it on before, if they want to get it on this year, they'd have to get it in before sometime in July. But to me, it seems a little odd that everybody's trying to do the same thing, but they're backing a different group. Now, why would that be? There were some distinct differences between Responsible Ohio and Ohioans to End Prohibition. So we'll refer to them as RO and OTEP. They were on the last show that we did about this subject in Ohio. So you got RO and OTEP, very different distinguishing features amongst those ballot petitions. And if you want, down lower on the page on thefullmelt.com, you can see the program there. Go back and review it. You can listen to it in case you missed it, because it's an interesting program. But they're still, doing the same thing in a different way. And some people would argue with that. And I'll let you bring that up as an argument if you don't agree with that statement. But after we come back from the first break here, which is coming up shortly, we'll get Tanya and John on the phone and see if there's any differences really in their ballot petitions. I believe one of them, if I'm not mistaken, has enough signatures collected that they got this already through the Attorney General's office, and they're on the ground actually collecting signatures to put it, put it forward. I don't know if they're the only ones or not. I'll let them tell you about that later, because I really don't know. But it seems they're the only one that I know for a fact is collecting active signatures, and they're in the stage of actually getting enough to get it on the ballot itself, not to get it approved. And that's a lot of signatures, 305,000 signatures. It takes money. It takes time. And you're competing against other guys. What does that mean? Who's going to have the cash to battle the other guys on TV and radio? Is there enough drive, willingness amongst the populace to just get this done? Is it this year or next? Answers to those questions and more coming up as we explore this subject on The Full Melt.
You're getting The Full Melt.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Does your dog or cat suffer with joint disorders, arthritis, anxiety, cancer, chronic pain, or other ailments? Hemp or cannabis-based medicinal products are now legal. Why should your pets go without the same options that we have available? Try Sativus, a daily hemp oil with CBD. Sativus is quality inspected and made in the USA. Easy-to-use drops are applied directly to your pet's food. For your pet's wellness, try Sativus drops. Ask for Sativus at your local pet store or learn more at petpain.com.
It's not easy out there, but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. His knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome, and Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464.
In this cold weather, I suffer many aches and pains, which keep me from doing the things I enjoy, like playing the piano, crafting, and spending time with my grandchildren. Toledo Hemp Center, 1419 Sylvania Avenue, has shown me there is an alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. I use CBD, cannabidiol, infused hemp lotions, oral sprays, and topical oils. Thank you, Toledo Hemp Center, for helping me restore and maintain my health with no side effects and no high. Find out more at ToledoHempCenter.com.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Hold on for a second. If words can be weapons.
All right, we're back. Good Lord. We're back. Not loud enough, but we're back. So, I told you before that I wanted to talk about Michigan a little bit, just as it relates to this subject, because some fascinating stuff has happened in Michigan since the last time that we brought this issue forth, and it seems like some people have been trying to mirror some stuff that's been going on in Ohio. And I don't know if it's connected or not. I think that at least it's likely that some people here in Michigan looked at the Ohio thing and said, hey, that might not be a bad idea. There's a 10, the Responsible Ohio is a 10-grow operation. And again, they were on a former show. It grants only rights to 10 specific growers in different areas of the state. And if you're going to get retail cannabis or if you're going to get medical cannabis, it's going to be from one of those places, depending on where you're located. And Michigan has come forth with a similar proposal. And it even seems that some of the people, in fact, the chief people responsible for passing the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act are interested and willing to duck it, to ditch it, to let legislators kill it, eliminate all patient rights so that they can pass a similar 10-grow operation. And I don't know, again, if it seems like that there's some correlation, like somebody might have took a breath of fresh air, some inspiration from Responsible Ohio, and I'm not sure. You can call with your opinion as we pick up the phone here and get on the air with Tanya Davis and John Party from Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis and the Ohio Rights Group, respectively. You can call us and give us your opinion about, if you've got an opinion about that, if you're in Michigan and you know about Michigan's laws, you can chime in about that. Tell us if you think they're connected or not, because I'd like to know what your opinion is on that. Even if you're in Ohio, if you know for a fact that there's some connection, let me know. 1-844-420-TALK. It's a toll-free number, 844-420-TALK. Now, let's see if I can do this right, because I haven't done this right in the past, and the buttons are new to me. So let's see if we can get first Tanya Davis. Tanya, are you there?
I am.
Yay, it works out. Now the trick, welcome to the program. Thanks for coming on tonight and helping us to understand and explain your petition drive.
And let me first say, we are not all connected.
Oh, okay. Well, not your petition drives independently. I meant if the Michigan 10-grow operation and the Ohio 10-grow operation proposals were in some way connected.
I believe they are.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we don't know enough in Michigan about who those people are, where they're coming from, what their complete position is. I think some of it must be still formative, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff flying around about that, especially given the idea that the people that passed the Medical Marijuana Act here are willing to flush it. And the ones that put it together, the ones that ran around and got signatures and all that stuff, to me that amazes
This isn't about the patients, and this is exactly why I'm standing out in the forefront with Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis. And my friend Don McAdams is doing the same, because this is supposed to be about the patients. It's supposed to be about freedom. It's supposed to be about free market, not about 10 people having full access to all the money. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it seems like it does grant special rights to special people, and it would be codified in the form of your state constitution, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they also say that our legislators can't change anything about it, and that makes no sense either.
I don't think there's ever been a law written in the history of the United States of America where it could not be later revoked, changed, or otherwise altered.
Yep, but they sure made sure that would happen, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't know that it would ever stand up to any constitutional muster. I think if somebody challenged that later, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets passed and that never, passes the muster of the Supreme Court, or even local state courts. A lot of times they'll kick that out before it even gets a chance to get to the Supreme Court. But if it's a constitutional issue, it seems like this is a democracy. People would be able to change at will what they decided to change at will, by vote, by popular vote, or by representation.
I was told by one of the Responsible Ohio people that if we didn't like something that was on the amendment, that we could just do another ballot initiative and change it. Well, that don't make sense. That's going to be millions more dollars.
It's very expensive to do a petition initiative.
It is.
Can you give us a brief overview?
Especially when they come in here bulldozing everything with the money. They've got big bucks behind them, so they say.
Are they the only ones that you're aware of that have that kind of money?
Well, I understand Michigan's folks up there have got some big money coming in, too.
Well, it's news to me if that's the truth. It really is. The big money for the Responsible Ohio type group in Michigan. There's an acronym for it. I don't have it in front of me, so I don't want to misquote it. But I'm sure that those guys have some big money. What I'm saying is, amongst the groups that you guys have in Ohio, is there anybody else that you know that has the kind of money that RO has?
No.
Can you give us a brief?
And I honestly believe that if it was about Ohioans and what's right for Ohio, they would be putting it into Ohio organizations versus coming in here from another state. And this is only rumor. I have no proof of this. But I was told that it's a corporation out of Colorado that is actually running the show in Ohio and Michigan. Now, I don't know that to be fact.
It certainly would. It's easy to draw that conclusion, isn't it? Especially if somebody drops a line like that and actually says it. But listen, I don't want to run out of time, Tanya. We've only got an hour show, and I do have other stuff I want to do. But I wanted you to give us a brief overview of what your ballot proposal it consists of, or what your idea. What's the basic plan with your group?
Well, our basic plan is to offer a free market. Anyone that wants to utilize cannabis in a commercial market would be able to, as long as they're 18 or older. The reason we picked 18 is because if they're old enough to go die for our country, fight for our country, they should be old enough to make that choice. A lot of people have given us flack about that and said that we should make it 21 because of alcohol. Well, cannabis is safer than alcohol, so why not allow it to be 18? I can understand the 21 for alcohol.
Does your petition initiative drive include home growing? And what's the difference between medical and what people would call recreational use in your plan?
Well, it does allow homegrown with the property owner's permission. Property owner can say, you know what, dude, you're not going to grow it in my property. So chances are they're not going to want to rent from that property owner if that's what their intentions are.
Does that present a situation where a lot of people would maybe be denied access through growing their own? Don't most people rent? Couldn't landlords just kind of start putting this in?
Well, what they could do is, with 86% of Ohioans supporting the use, chances are no one is going to be causing that much difficulty about it.
All right, listen,
medical use is a given. If your doctor says you can use it, then you should be allowed to use it. So within our amendment, we've got also an affirmative defense in there to where we can tell a judge if law enforcement want to harass us, that we use it medicinally, and this is why. It would allow 24 plants.
Oh, did something happen? I lost you. Bob, Robert, it seems we lost Tanya. I don't know how or why, but hang on, I'm gonna put this line on hold and see if you can get her back. That is not holding. There's something not right with that line now. Did something happen that I'm unaware of? Did we hit a button somewhere? I'm just going to release that line then. Tanya, I'm sorry we lost you, and I'm going to have to call you back, or you're going to have to call it. I can't release that line at all now. Oh, I know.
Your call has ended.
Yeah, something happened. We lost her. I figured out how to get rid of it now. We'll have to get Tanya back on the line here. There we go. In the meanwhile, I'm going to pick up John Party here. Tanya, please call us back, and we'll get you back on here after the break. We'll put you on with John. Right now, I want to get John's point of view. John Party, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having us.
You're the president of the Ohio Rights Group.
That's correct.
Can you give us a brief overview as well about your organization and what its intent is? Maybe kind of break down for us the quick view of how your, what your position is.
Yeah, our amendment's called the Ohio Cannabis Rights Amendment, and it can be found on our website at ohiorightsgroup.org. And in essence, ours is the only true medical amendment on the street. Matter of fact, ours is the only amendment on the street currently in the state of Ohio. We were certified back in May of 2013. We've been gathering signatures ever since. We have about 150,000 gross signatures in the bank, and we've got hundreds of volunteers all over the state continuing to collect signatures. But our amendment covers true medical cannabis as well as industrial hemp for Ohio's farmers. So we feel our amendment is perfectly tailored for the state of Ohio as far as being kind of a fairly conservative purple state. It's great for farmers as well as it sticks to the medical need, which is, like what Tanya had mentioned, is supported by 87% of Ohioans, where full legal at this point is just about 50-50, and that's a tough number to be at if you're trying to pass an amendment. You need to have support, I think, a lot higher range in order to successfully run a campaign and get it become part of the Ohio State Constitution.
How is it, do you think, that you're going to be able to maybe tell people the difference between your ballot petitions, especially given that at least three of you are still kind of poor? You guys don't have a lot of money going around yet. And I think that the important thing, once you get signatures collected, because that's really, you got to get to the end of the finish line first before it really matters.
Right.
But once you do, don't you have some competition to try and align, either ally with or advertise against? So you got to have some kind of public voice to get people to lean one way or another.
Well, to be clear, a lot of people don't understand OTEP, our friends at OTEP and our friends at Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis, they're aiming for 2016, so it's not going to be that crowded of a field. Really, in 2015, it's Responsible Ohio versus the Ohio Rights Group. And we are the only thing really standing in the way of this monopoly. It's our group and our ability to finish the job and qualify for the ballot. So we want to let people know, that it's Responsible Ohio versus Ohio Rights Group. We're also known as ORG or org. So we've been saying it's org versus Borg. And a lot of people see what we're trying to do, because our amendment is written for the people, by the people of the state of Ohio. It wasn't written for the corporations by a business attorney. Ours was written by cannabis, activists people who are passionate about extending rights to all citizens of the state of Ohio to have safe access. As far as the patients being able to have access to use, and for everybody in Ohio to have the ability to grow or engage in cannabis commerce.
And really, that's what it comes down to with the other 3 ballot drives is leaving this open to free marketplace. Yeah.
We know if you look at our amendment on our website, it really goes through a very it takes pains to establish the rights of Ohio citizens, because if you don't have the rights, like you see in Michigan, all the problems that you're having with the laws and stuff being challenged, ours went out of its way to establish fundamental rights for Ohioans to not lose their job, to not lose their parental rights, to maintain their rights to privacy, to maintain their rights to property, not to have their property seized and things like that. We set that as a foundation on which everything else will be built and developed. If you don't have the rights as a foundation, it just leaves the door open for all these challenges and problems that you're seeing in Michigan and some other states.
Well, I think 7 years ago in Michigan, when we did this here, that there was really this idea that we didn't know if there were enough people who would actually come out and vote for it, if they got too explicit or got too detailed about these different rights. And they kind of left it up to courts to decide, and they figured that maybe the courts would decide in their favor because, the people said so. It didn't work that way.
No. Yeah, we're trying not to leave that to chance. The people like Mary Jane Borden and some of the other ones who wrote our amendment are, cannabis policy experts, and the gentleman who wrote the RO amendment. He's a business attorney, and it shows if you really read the language, especially when it comes to their medical. The medical language is very it's very limited, and it wasn't written understanding the cannabis industry. He has had no experience in the cannabis industry, and it really shows in the amendment. And I think their amendment, if it qualifies and passes, it's going to be really problematic. And you're right. I think it will be challenged, in court. And I think that one's, it's got a tough road ahead of it, and we're hoping people see that the Ohio Cannabis Rights Amendment is really the one best amendment, for the people of the state of Ohio, as well as small businesses, family farms, and the like, to have actually the best prosperity going forward.
I just discovered something that I didn't want to do there. Listen, we're coming up on the break. Hang on for a second, John. I'm going to put you on hold here. Bear with me. You're listening to The Full Melt Show. We're going to come back with John and also put Tanya on. We got her back on the phone as we explore cannabis rights in Ohio. Hang on.
You're getting the full melt.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
It's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience, bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at Canalock.com. Visit Canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
In this cold weather, I suffer many aches and pains, which keep me from doing the things I enjoy, like playing the piano, crafting, and spending time with my grandchildren. Toledo Hemp Center, 1419 Sylvania Avenue, has shown me there is an alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. I use CBD, cannabidiol, infused hemp lotions, oral sprays, and topical oils. Thank you, Toledo Hemp Center, for helping me restore and maintain my health with no side effects and no high. Find out more at ToledoHempCenter.com.
Does your dog or cat suffer with joint disorders, arthritis, anxiety, cancer, chronic pain, or other ailments? Hemp or cannabis-based medicinal products are now legal. Why should your pets go without the same options that we have available? Try Sativus, a daily hemp oil with CBD. Sativus is quality inspected and made in the USA. Easy-to-use drops are applied directly to your pet's food. For your pet's wellness, try Sativus drops. Ask for Sativus at your local pet store or learn more at petpain.com.
Hey, so you may want to write this down. Whatever you do have to listen to the show this Thursday live to get some great background on the cannabis issue from a New York Times best-selling author. We have him live from London, and we'll be taking your calls here at 1-844-420-TALK. Now, the book was called Terrific by Bill Maher, Johann Hari's New York Times bestseller, Chasing the Scream, the first and last days of the war on drugs, will be our guest. It's what you get in the Full Melt this Thursday. Live, Johann Hari from London, and a fascinating look behind the curtain. Lock us in Thursday night at 7 Eastern.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
Okay, moving right along here with the Ohio Rights Group. Welcome back to the program, The Full Melts. You can reach us here every weekday, Monday through Friday, from 7 until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you get a chance, go to our page. You have to tune us in. At the top of the page is a Facebook and a Twitter link. Like us there. If you get a chance, click on Spreaker. Find us, the Full Melt Show on Spreaker, and follow us there. Like us there. That's kind of important to us. We're talking about Ohio rights and medical marijuana, retail cannabis. These subjects are fascinating, and their development has changed through the years. This means a lot to a lot of people on the ground where this is getting done. This means a lot to them. They've got a lot developed and put into this. There's energy, sweat, blood, and tears behind all this. Isn't that correct, John Party?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're, thanks for having us on again, Steve. So people are aware, if they want to find us on Facebook, we're the Ohio Rights Group on Facebook. We've got over 15,000, people that liking us and following us there, and our Twitter handle is at Ohio Rights Group. And
let me give Tanya the same opportunity to give their information out there. Hang on, I'm gonna try and get you on at the same time. If I end up hanging up on you, John, call us back immediately. I'm not going to do that, but it might happen. Hang on. So, but push the button right, and this is what would happen if it happens. Oh, and I did lose him. Dang it! You see, it's new. I lost him. Tanya, are you there?
I am.
I lost John. You see how that works? You're supposed to,
I see.
If I push it twice, it's supposed to stay, and it didn't stay. Can you do the same thing that John just did with how people can find you, find out information about you, that kind of thing?
Yes, they can go to responsibleohioans.org. If they want to volunteer, they can send us an email at info@responsibleohioans.org.
Okay.
Well, we're on Facebook.
All right. Now,
so
I'm going to try this again with another caller, and I hope I don't hang up on you because then I just look like a big idiot. But I am learning these phone buttons, and they don't always respond right. So I'm not going to hang up on you. I promise I'm not trying to do that. But I'm going to see if I can take I've got a call from Bob. He's in Madison Heights, Michigan. Bob has a question or a comment. He says he's the first medical marijuana patient in Michigan. I don't know what his comment is in particular with regards to the subject we got on today, but let's see what he's got to say. And hopefully I don't lose you. And I did! Oh, see, the phone's not working right. It's just not working right. Bob, are you there? Bob. Bob from Madison Heights. And I lost Bob. Bob's gone now. All right. So we're going to try and get back in touch with John and with Tanya. Good Lord. That's just awful. It's just awful. Danny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing well. Danny's in Flint. You got a question for John? John can hear us now. He's back on the line while we get Tanya lined up. If you got a question for either John or Tanya, or a comment.
Yeah, I was just wanted to tell him I'm happy that things are going slow there in Ohio for him. Glad to see that the movement is progressing forward, helping everyone with this, with the cannabis oils and the things that the people need out there. And just also called to tell you again, thank you for being on. We at the Sweet Leaf love you guys. We appreciate your show. Bob and Kim Johnson say hi.
Yeah.
We're up here working hard. We finally had our
look. I don't want to make this a commercial about Sweet Leaf right now. We're in a program segment about a topic, and I'm looking for questions or comments to John or Tanya if that's what we're looking for. Oh, and he's gone. Look at that. Look. I'm sorry, Danny. Call us back. It looks like our phone screen is also learning the buttons and screwed it up. John, I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Now you were trying to say.
Yeah, it was just, it's really kind of, in 2015 here in Ohio, it's boiled down to a two-horse race. It's Responsible Ohio, who, is sitting on a pile of cash, but that's really, in my opinion, that's all they have. We in the Ohio Rights Group, we have the vast majority of the support of the activists here in the state of Ohio, and the business community. The folks who are looking to be locked out of the cannabis industry, they really want us to succeed, and we're really starting to get a lot of attention from the business class supporters, and they're starting to come into our camp in a major way. Our Responsible Ohio has done us a huge favor. They've brought a ton of new support into the Ohio Rights Group because people are scared to death if they're successful. What's going to happen when that Walmart weed scenario starts playing out here in the state of Ohio. A lot of people don't realize, this is a shocking thing about it, is once if they get locked in as a state law, through the Constitution, once federal prohibition falls, it's not going to improve in Ohio. We will be stuck with a bad law, and they're banking on people being so desperate for cannabis reform that they'll hold their nose and vote for their amendment. But we want to let people know that there is a reasonable alternative that does provide a good future for their families to engage in this business in the future. So if people come and support the Ohio Rights Group and our effort to put the Ohio Cannabis Rights Amendment on the ballot, they won't have to hold their nose. They can vote for it with pride, and we're going to get the job done.
I guess my question would be, since we're waiting for a couple of people to call back now, and I apologize to callers for that. And we'll take callers one at a time. We'll just so they don't have this problem with the two at the same time thing. We'll just pop back and forth. You guys can hear each other. It'll still work fine.
Okay.
It's just nice to have you being able to converse back and forth directly. But given that the time is limited, I don't want to hang up on anybody. We'll just pop back and forth. So my question to both of you would be, why aren't you guys doing the same drive? Why is there enough semantical hair splitting about the differences between Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis's position and the Ohio Rights Group's positions that you couldn't merge your efforts? It seems like that might be a smart thing to go, or at least from the outside looking in, it seems like that would be a better path than being splintered and trying to do each thing on your own.
Well, we've got a lot of love and respect for Tanya and Don McAdams. I mean, they're true, passionate activists, and I've known them for quite some time. Everyone in Ohio kind of has, their own opinion how things go forward. We're trying to be, pragmatic. We feel, I'm hoping they're successful. I really do, because, they're trying to open up, the entire realm, from responsible adult use to medical. We're laser focused on medical and industrial hemp because we feel we need to take the patients off the battlefield first. Those are the people that are getting hurt by prohibition the most. And honestly, like I said, politics is the art of the possible. And here in Ohio, being a purple state, I think going full legal is going to be a big lift. And I don't know if the state of Ohio is ready for it. We do know that they're ready for medical based on the polling. And we do know, the farmers in the rural communities would definitely support having the ability to grow a very profitable crop in industrial hemp. So we think our amendment is perfectly positioned. But we support, OTEP, our friends over at OTEP. are doing fantastic work, and we support responsible Ohioans for cannabis. Because everyone has talked about it, and one thing we are unified on is everybody's saying the same thing: anything but responsible Ohio, because that's the one, that's the kind of like the evil empire that everyone's scared of, that they don't want to see happen. Because if they're successful in Ohio, they're going to replicate it in other states. So we are really the vanguard here in the United States, trying to keep this corporate takeover from the people's medicine. And we can't allow that to happen, and we're going to fight that every step of the way.
I'm going to ask Tanya the same question, so stand by. I'm going to put you on hold. That's on hold. That worked. And Tanya, so I just asked John, and you can hear me. Could you answer the same question? Is there enough difference between your ballot initiatives that you need to have separate campaigns? Isn't that more work than and less fruitful than if you combined them? Is there enough difference between them to not combine them?
Well, actually, we are collecting for org as well.
Oh, wow.
We have no problem with ORG. We've got the same respect for John Pardee that he does for us, or ETAP.
So, well, I guess it would work out well for you because, as he just explained, their drive is for 2015 and yours is for 2016.
Well, actually, if we get a chance to get on 2015, we're going to go for that as well.
That's the same thing that I heard Ohioans to End Prohibition said, that they might modify and try and get on this year, too, to also compete with RO.
Well, see, the thing about RO is RO has sent us droves of volunteers, because they came in and they took over our name.
You do have similar names.
We've had Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis since 2011.
And so if you feel a little bit of...
And say that they accidentally picked Responsible Ohio.
Yeah, it seems a little odd, doesn't it? Listen, Tanya, we're coming up on a break again. I'm sorry this was a short segment. If you'll hang on with us through the break, I want to try and see again if I can get you both on at the same time, and we do have some other questions coming in. Can you stand by with us for a second? Can you hang on for a second, Tanya? Is Tanya there? We'll be back after the break.
Getting the full melt.
Got something to hide? Canalock offers discreet and effective storage solutions that destroy odor, so nobody knows. Canalock is a patented charcoal-activated bag that discreetly stores your marijuana. Canalock is made from the same material as military chemical warfare suits. Get yours at canalock.com. Visit canalock.com to learn more about no-smell technology.
Hey, it's Steve Green for the Sweet Leaf in Flint, because now getting safe access to medical cannabis patients in Flint, Michigan is never more welcoming. Presenting the Sweet Leaf, a brand new patient experience bringing 12 carefully selected caregivers housed in 9 separate offices to distinctly assist you with their knowledge and reputation for excellent patient care. Classes and training coming soon in the large community room. Check it out in person, 400 South Door Highway, or call 810-259-2571. The Sweet Leaf Center in Flint, 810-259-2571. 571.
People believe lots of things. A recent study showed that 1 in 5 thought the sun revolved around the earth. 50% believe they can sense someone staring at the back of their head. Some fake beliefs can make you laugh, but others are dangerous. Like the misconception, recently dispelled by the American Medical Association, that marijuana has no medicinal value, which caused police departments over the past century to arrest millions. So, will cops change their minds now that medical marijuana is legalized? Just because you confront a misconception with facts, don't think that people will automatically see the light. When the issue is our perceived safety, facts and logic often do not apply. It goes beyond the simple resistance to admitting you are wrong. It has to do with how ideas take root in our brains. When we first hear something, it gets processed in an area deep in our brain called the hippocampus. But as we think about it and remember it, it gets more deeply written into our cerebral cortex. Rewriting those deep beliefs is especially hard. When false beliefs face new information, it turns out the truth doesn't always set people free.
You know, it's not easy out there. but it can be easier. And when it comes to medical marijuana in Michigan and chronic pain management, Dr. Bob Townsend, renowned for his patient advocacy and deep understanding of how patients and medical marijuana certifications fit together, makes it his hallmark to educate and provide the best holistic treatment for your condition. Now, his knowledgeable staff makes you feel warm and welcome, and Dr. Bob makes you feel well. With locations across the state in Cadillac and Gaylord, Kalamazoo, Marquette, Mount Pleasant, Muskegon, Saginaw, Traverse City, you can't beat the convenience and feeling you get knowing you have someone on your side that cares. Denali Healthcare is on the web at denalihealthcaremi.com. Get answers to your holistic health questions or schedule an appointment now by calling 989-339-4464. Chronic pain management and holistic health answers is what they do. It's all they do. DenaliHealthcareMI.com. Get your certification and peace of mind now by making an appointment with Dr. Bob Townsend at 989-339-4464. Hey, so you may want to write this down. Whatever you do have to listen to the show this Thursday live to get some great background on the cannabis issue from a New York Times best-selling author. We have him live from London, and we'll be taking your calls here at 1-844-420-TALK. Now, the book was called Terrific by Bill Maher. Johann Hari's New York Times bestseller, Chasing the Scream, the first and last days of the war on drugs, will be our guest. It's what you get in the Full Melt this Thursday. Live, Johann Hari from London, and a fascinating look behind the curtain. Lock us in Thursday night at 7 Eastern.
It's the Full Melt Radio Show.
I locked myself in a hotel room. Then waited on.
Hey, don't forget, coming up on Thursday's show, live from London, Johann Hari. He is a New York Times best-selling author. He's got a current book out. It is called The Scream? Beyond the Scream. Oh, good Lord. I don't have it in front of me. Chasing the Scream. It is about the back war on marijuana and other drugs. A very interesting book. I've been reading it. I'm still not finished with it, but on Thursday we're going to interview this author because the book is actually fascinating. Tune in Thursday for that. During the break, I managed to push the buttons right and get both people connected together. John, Tanya, can you hear each other?
Yes.
Are you there, Tanya? Hey, we got them both on. I figured if I'd hang up on you, it'd be during the break and not on the air.
Hi, John.
How you doing, Tanya? Long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yep.
I'm glad that we were able to connect you together on the Full Melt Show. Listen, I think that what you guys are doing is tremendously difficult. And I have to champion you for what it is because we've been through it here. I've watched it from its infancy till its grave, and really for us it was kind of a big grave because we passed bad law here. Is there any chance that this could happen in Ohio, that people might pass bad law and regret it?
Yes, if we don't stop RO, it's exactly what's going to happen.
Amen to that. That's and honestly, that's what we're seeing in the activist community. The vast majority of activists see what it is. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. They're trying to pass themselves off as freedom and patients' rights when there's nothing in their amendment that has anything to do with the patients or freedoms. It's really a business model, and they have done us a favor because they have united the activist community to stand up to this hostile takeover, and I'm just I'm hoping the voters see what we see, and they'll make sure that their voice is heard come November.
But
go ahead.
But see also, Steve, if it makes the ballot, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well,
it'll be a scary ending, but I'm sure there'll be patience because now they've kind of said, well, okay, now you can grow 4 plants if you're a patient, or for personal use. Instead of recreational use, I like to say personal use.
Well, and see, that's kind of an important distinction because one of the things that I've been worried about in Michigan, and it's kind of coming true, is that if they pass a similar RO-type proposition here, that they're willing to take away the entire Medical Marijuana Act in Michigan to cause its favor to be elected or to get into be put into policy.
Well, now I was told that they're watching Ohio, And soon as Ohio passes with the RO method or plan, then Michigan is going to get started.
Well, they're already started. I can tell you there are people actively legislating right now, actively working with the legislature to try and get enough political support in place to get that done here. And what bothers me the most is the principal people behind the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act are working in concert with that effort to ditch the Marijuana Act and let them do this. They basically sold out to the big box idea, which disturbs me. It disturbs me, and the argument back from those people is that look, this was a stepping stone. The medical marijuana thing was a stepping stone to this in the first place, and that there's nothing wrong with a big business, taking this over. I disagree. I think that in Michigan anyway, the entire business community, the industry that's built up and developed around the MMMA is vast and wide and underestimated. The grow shops, the dispensaries, all their supportive businesses, the people that have invested in that equipment, all that is obsolete if this kind of thing gets passed here. And they would scrap all that business, and they would start over with, the big box, money people. And the first thing to go by the wayside is the rights of medical marijuana patients, because there are certain things in the Medical Marijuana Act that, aside from protections and this kind of thing, that give people access to medicine that otherwise would not be available in just a commercial marketplace.
Jack Harrer is rolling over in his grave right now.
This is the kind of thing that he and others in the community across the country have argued to be wary of, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. As a matter of fact, my first panel I ever was on was in Traverse City. And me and Jack Harrer was on the same panel. And he preached and preached and preached about corporate takeover.
Well, you can't stop.
He said that was going to happen.
You can't stop business from coming in and taking this over. This is a free market economy. This is a capitalist country. The guy that dies with the most money wins. I mean, that's how we look at it in America. Individual people, move ahead with money.
We're happy to see that a lot of folks in the advocacy community are really starting to step up and have a voice in this. Steve D'Angelo has come out vehemently against them. Ethan Nadelman, with Drug Policy Alliance as well. Drew Carey, native Ohioan, tweeted out that, he doesn't like what Responsible Ohio is doing. So we're starting to see a lot of national folks pay attention to this, and they're coming out strongly against it. And I think the support for the groups that are fighting Responsible Ohio are going to continue to enjoy, popular support and enjoy the support of advocates across the country.
You guys, we've got about 2 minutes left in the program, and I want to give you an opportunity to wrap up any thoughts or things that are important to you, or do you have anything that you'd like to add before the program ends from either of you? We've got about a minute each.
Yeah, just real short. I mean, obviously, if they want to stop Responsible Ohio, we need advocates from coast to coast to come into Ohio, and help us out. They've got millionaires bankrolling theirs. Ours is all grassroots fundraising. So if people go to OhioRightsGroup.org and make a donation that can help us, keep them from being successful. And, we are the amendment of the people for the people. So if folks want to see this succeed, they need to step up and start, fighting this corporate takeover and help us out. But I appreciate Steve giving us this opportunity to talk to your audience.
Look, I wish you guys from Ohio well. I lived there in Cleveland for 6 full years, and I know the ground well there. They sent me all over as a street reporter in Ohio, so I have an affinity for the land, the cities, and the state. I just wish you guys really well, and I think this is one of the big reasons that I reach out to you on this program, is because I do have that affinity, but I think it matters to the rest of the country. Do you agree, Tanya?
I do, and I think the rest of the country are watching. I want to add just one thing, that our amendment provides a protection against search and seizure of property, arrest, prosecution, criminal and civil penalties pertaining to employment, child custody, health care, public assistance, organ transplant, which is very important.
That is important.
And also guns and ammunition and access to banking and financial services. I mean, we've got protections in there for that.
One more time, each of your contacts, so people can find out more about you if they want to help out, participate, that kind of thing, donate, maybe that kind of thing.
ResponsibleOhioans.org.
And John?
Yeah, the OhioRightsGroup.org.
Easy enough. I have to thank both of you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come on the program and spell this out for people, because unless we did, boy, people they'd be just as confused as I am. I'm still confused about a lot of things, but it's only a 1-hour show. As we progress along in this thing, we'll follow this and stay on top of it.
Your call has ended.
Oh, we lost one of them. There we go. Learning as we go. The Full Melt Show comes back to you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thanks for coming along with us today. We'll see you next time.
The Full Melt Show is a production of the Multimedia Digital Network.